Charge up your game with excitement. Highest odds on the market. Coverage of all live and pre-match events. Place your bets with Solid Bookmaker and win with your favorite teams. Take what's rightfully yours with GG.bet.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to map number 2 of our series between Redemption versus Inflames. The first map, although it did get a little bit close, did end up going to Inflames 16-13, but now we move to Inflames' pick. They'll have to prove themselves on the T side of things. Very strong performances from SHZ and DZT, respectively, on the Inflames side. Well, much more of a team contribution for Redemption, but CT Cryo is just gonna have the dualies fully flashed up. The flashes are perfect, and the execute really makes things awkward for the CTs. Ale, he gets the first, the second, and a third. DZT cannot track him down, and now the bomb is dropped outside of market. Now they need to go on the recovery, and they know that Inflames have to traverse forward. FP1 taking those duels. Ale's on for the ace. He's gotten 4 so far, but Showtime is making things difficult. He brings it to the one-on-one. Ale's been heroic in this round to start off map number 2, and he finishes it off with the ace. Straight into it. They know they're a map down, and Ale delivers the finishing blow in that regard. He makes things easier for Redemption moving forward on the CT side. Although the execute seemed to be flawless from Inflames, they didn't account for this one man. Fantastic stuff from him to set off on Inflames' map pick. See, they were getting a little bit comfortable over at the B-bomb site. Now it'll be the forced buy into things. If they can't catch Redemption off guard. Of course, they haven't fired off a singular shot so far. Redemption are still guessing. Is it the full eco? Is it forced buy that has actually come out from Inflames? LA, though, will be given a few opportunities, and he's on a tear so far. 7 kills, no deaths, and Inflames cannot track him down. SHZ, although he was in the Palace position, didn't want to overcommit just because connected presence was made. Now Inflames are grouping up towards that A site. They have things locked down respectively over at B, and although mid is a little bit of a concern, they're fairly comfortable playing towards the bomb sites, considering the man advantage. ZQK will make scope noises in towards ramp, so they know exactly where he is. The DZT's found, or SHZ has found the kill. They've actually found a couple, almost a third. Ale's been dealt with. Finally, his score has been put to rest. And DRG, though, he's here so quickly that they're unsuspecting. Does so much damage, but can't convert on a kill. He's allowed the Inflames players to escape into safer positions in the post plant. And that could have been critical. Suddenly they've got opportunities. ZQK has been dealt with. SHZ, although it's a labored affair, it's gonna be the kill for him. Cryo's there to track them down. It's another 1v1, so these rounds have certainly been close. Closer perhaps than they needed to be, but Redemption have come out on top twice now.
Bomb has been defused. Counter-terrorists win.
Cryo even making his way over towards the org. I imagine we'll gift that over back to LA, because he's had the hot hands so far for the CT side. Those 2 kills, of course, were pretty easy for him, given that it was that connector angle and he had that scope to play with. Now Inflames are going to be on the half buy. Of course, you can margin or use that data from the previous round to orchestrate some sort of a push into this one. It is a similar sort of investment coming all the way through. DCT's overpowered FP1 alongside his teammate. Ale able to spring in from that toll booth position. Redemption are making the heavy rotation. They're trying to cut them off before they can even get this bomb planted. But RMN's recovered a rifle and he's dangerous. He's got 3 kills for the Inflames side. Suddenly, everything is flipped because Ale, although he's had heroic performances so far, only in the past 2 rounds, there's still 3 players to hunt down. He has a kit, a smoke available as well, but he needs to be given the opportunities to get and equalize the affair, but tagged down to 5 HP. That may just be it. He's gonna try and run away, and Showtime will make sure that he cannot even do that. Fantastic work from RMN to find an isolated engagement and make use of the rifle that he recovered. There was no smoke for the cross towards the site, so had connector been an issue moving forward, trying to get a plant as well as CT still being open, things would have likely fallen to Redemption's way if RMN hadn't cut them off. Now Redemption will force buy into things. Ale, DRG, Cryo and Remix. Remix not quite buying as low as the other players on the side. Of course, we expect him to wield the AWP at some point on this CT portion of the map. FP1's found an isolated fight. Suddenly an SMG is pulled over towards Redemption. The scout has done decent damage on towards RMN, eventually tracks down a kill as well to DCT, and even with the SMG, FP1's found another kill. There's 2 more players to deal with. So far, no casualties on the CT side. Showtime, for now, will hold a very powerful position. Lingering in that smoke, he was hoping to catch these players off guard, but it's a heavy rotation in towards CT. That nade does enough damage to Ale to force him back, but he knows he has numbers to play with. They're even setting themselves up for the boost. Showtime, as he takes these duels, they'll line up for him on the spray down, and eventually the trade is found. It's recovered in a 2 versus 5 for Inflames, in spite of the number of angles they needed to deal with. Redemption tried to cut their losses in that they just grouped themselves up. They thought that the trades would be easy enough should they all swing at once, but no armor makes things extremely difficult on some of those players, and the fact that Showtime was just able to hold the trigger and win duel after duel. Those were crucial frags to find at the end because ZQK was low. It's the pistols that are doing the damage now for the Redemption lineup. FP1, labored affair, eventually gets a kill. 17 HP remaining on him. The issue with all of these duels being in towards that mid position is that the result of getting them, they can actually pick up those weapons as a result. Ale doesn't seem to have any idea. Yeah, I'm gonna say, he doesn't seem to have any idea that SHZ is there. So if he'd cleared the ramp position, then Ale was dead. Which is exactly what we saw. I didn't exactly get enough time to string that thought together. But after losing the pistol in what was a very close round and losing the subsequent round as well, also very close, Inflames have now strung 3 in a row together. Maybe it's that reliance on LA to pull up big numbers for Redemption that's causing issues. It's consistency that needs to be key. Everyone's in a position that does go unchecked initially. The trade is there for DZT. Remix, though, he's found 2 on the AWP. And the Flames are just thrust down to 2. All of them recover the 2 versus 5 before, but this time it's rifles and AWPs in the hands of these CT players. Cryo as well, holding in towards jungle, will spot ZQK initially. That's the information as well, that he may be rotating away from that position. And Inflames still have a lot of time to work with. They could certainly double back towards the B bomb site, make their way in through middle, but instead SAZ is just going to try and win that fight openly. DQK even having a smoke in hand could have prevented that fact. Okay, he gets the first. Jumping up above the smoke was Remix, but will he suspect the secondary player in that position? Cryo, he makes the rotation as attention is pulled away, and he knows that he can traverse jungle safely. Redemption keep both AWPs going into round number 7. Quickly have a look at the stats for yourselves. See, as we'd expect, LA very far away from everyone else in the server, 154 ADR respectively, but QK and RMN certainly gunning for that top position. Established. Oh, the spray through the smoke. Cryo falls right into it. He thinks that he can kind of sit behind it, maybe line himself up, maybe cheat around the smoke as well to establish a kill for himself. That keeps Ale in this position. I'd imagine he wouldn't wanted to maybe rotate away, pick up that window and middle area just so that they have more information to work off of. But now he's had to commit to this B bomb site. Given how quickly Cryo has gone down, playing 2 towards the site certainly makes sense, but it opens up this opportunity now where Inflames just have so much of the map that they can traverse. They can split towards the B bomb site either by boosting in towards that mid window and potentially flanking things out. I have to think that the vents are broken, or actually unbroken in towards that window position, and that's maybe why they're not as concerned they otherwise would be of market, because they know that they'd have to break open that particular portion of the map and they'd have that audio cue to work off of. But towards A seems to be on the cards. As I said, finding the timing, FP1's been eliminated. They spot out the secondary player towards CT, so all of this falls into Remix's hands. For now, he'll take the passive stance, and Inflames, although it gets close for time, they're able to get this down just in the nick of it. And Remix and DRG aren't even contesting for this. Inflames making use of the amount of space that Redemption had given them. It was fairly easy from their perspective. Very limited points of contact, not really much pressure felt around the map, and Showtime's even going to try and hunt these last 2 players down. Gets him while full flashed as well. So the AWP is out of play. They don't save either of those weapons moving forward, and Showtime seemed to have read that situation perfectly. He took the wide swing expecting a player posted on the angle, and he got gifted a secondary kill as well. The Zeus is out for Cryo. Outside of that, no real upgrades. He has a P250 as well, but I'm more interested in the knife replacement. If he has any impact with that particular piece of utility. No sudden moves over for the Inflames camp. Slow approach. You imagine that Showtime could potentially clear out middle, but given that he is very alone in that position, that would be an opportunity as well for the AK to fall into the wrong hands. Now they show some presence in towards middle. Redemption aren't moving. They've only got pistols, so they're just stacking this B-bomb site. In the off chance that Inflames rush on through, and if they eat as much time as they did off of the clock as they did in the previous round, and they somehow made their way over towards B, this would certainly favor the Redemption side. All they need to do is cycle out those bomb carriers 1 or 2 times, and Inflames would be in a world of hurt. The T side has navigated around it. They've let DZT lurk his way out, just clearing a number of the angles. So they now realize that the A-bomb site is completely open for business. They take their time, they pick the right site, and Redemption left with just Zeus in hand. Oh, crap. Aww. That's a shame. RMN, too aware. Took the hike. Oh, okay. That's very short from DCT. Last 2 bullets and he's just completely domed LA. No up in play for the Redemption side. Oh, never mind. It's in Cryo's hands instead. I was thinking because Remix didn't have it, that they wouldn't go for that up on their CT side setup. So we'll just have to see where Cryo goes with it. Setting himself up for the Palace pick. Oh, this is dangerous because SHZ has been giving himself up to this angle. We saw it against the pistols earlier on, and Cryo, this is a significantly more dangerous weapon. Question is, how long does Cryo hold this for? There's so much presence in towards middle that Cryo may begin to question his position, may begin to move himself away. See how much close RMN has gone in towards Ale. It's being so patient about this, though. Clearly, this is the opening kill for either side. Not moving an inch. SH said just knows that this could be a play, that it could be a push in towards Palace, and they're not even gonna meet. All that build up, all that tension, gone, lost. Inflames instead grouping up towards the B-bomb site. See Remix dodging a flash as well and towards jail. Seemingly the right call. You can see they're trying to cut off that player in towards jungle as well. 30 seconds now remain. This has to be the push on from Inflames. RMN dealt with in the connector. DRG goes unchecked in this position, and so far he's done well. But 1 kill as well as the reposition, but Showtime's tracked him down. Remix, oh, spam down through the smoke. Showtime has been on a tear. Blind through smokes. He doesn't care. He can smell you coming, and Showtime is now in the 1 versus 2. 2 different angles that he needs to clear out as FP1 sits on low HP. Cryo, AWP in hand as well. No kit available for either of these 2 players, so they need to move somewhat swiftly. Showtime will get the first, but does he expect where Cryo is? The AWP in play, he doesn't even get the opportunity to fire back. Cryo shoots through the edge of the box, and he eliminates the threat. He should have the defuse dialed in for Redemption. A bit of hesitance, and Showtime so far showing very good form on Mirage, but Redemption overcome it. Get themselves up to a 4th. Opportunity for either side. They went for the pick respectively. Remix with the AUG of all things. Even if he'd landed the headshot, that would have given enough time for DQK to be able to answer back with an op shot of his own had he hit the shot on the cross. But Cryo's in this position once again, and this is the pick I was talking about. This is what S8Z had left himself open to a number of times before, and FP1's done phenomenal work. Given enough space for Cryo to reposition, he sits now underneath the balcony, and he can hear all that presence made, but even through the edge, he lands the tag, and it's not enough. 2 HP remaining on one of the 2 Inflames players. It's left into the majority of ZQK to pull things through. The bomb, tap, Ale, likely be the first point of contact. The smoke still for now stays up. Mix doesn't spots out the head. Now they'll swing. DZT now left all alone. 2 HP. The bomb dropped towards the CT spawn. He doesn't really have enough time to go for any of these long wrapping plays. He'll try nonetheless. Much better for him to die trying as opposed to not try at all. Oh my, that is so awkward. As DRG exposes his back, DZT's pulled out the knife. That is so unfortunate. That feels so bad. What feels good, however, is Redemption now up to a 5th round. They've stabilized the game somewhat. They've built up some money on each of their players as a result of not losing too many in the previous. Which is not quite a comfortable lead just yet. It's not a lead at all. In the economic game, at least have double their opposition. This is a round win for Redemption. They'll have a bit more room to breathe in the following. Possibly a 7th accrued off the back of it. Play in towards connector. Smoke as well through jungle, and this is going to be a crunch play. Ale is just spamming away, trying to distract from FP1's position, but as he goes to swing, SHZ tracks him down. Remix is here with the ult, though. He's hit shot after shot on this A site when he's not been smoked out. Inflames will feed him one more kill as a result. Showtime, he's been so good on this map so far. Another crucial kill on the rotation. Remix is missing. RMN, eventually he's died. Showtime has such a strong position. Cryo, although he's on this flank, although this is somewhat unsuspecting, he's not going to be able to capitalize on this. Players are playing so safe on the side of Inflames that he's not going to be given the chance to really strike. Cryo's been dealt with. Showtime even taking the peek in towards CT. The first shot missed by Remix. The Molotov pushing him back, and it makes things easy for SHZ. 15-6 on Showtime. The player with probably the most international experience on the Inflames roster, stepping up in map number 2. I'd said before, it was a very close endeavor in the last time they'd played Mirage. Showtime doesn't want a repeat performance and pulling it off individually. Play over towards the B site. Redemption are in a decent enough position to deal with this in that they've got these players all off of short, but DCT is still holding for that. He's able to get 3 kills before dropping and giving that AK over towards the CTs, but at least now Inflames have that information to play off of. Cryo, as he attempts to escape, SHZ, the smallest slither, hit the shot. He's still able to do so. Up back into the hands of Remix, the man you want it to be on if you're on the side of Redemption. Ale is taking an aggressive angle. This time, not gonna go either through the A site or peeking directly from the connector. Jumps out of the window such that he can get there at a faster timing, and it catches out Inflames. Their middle pressure is lost, and it's going to be the slow play towards B. Cryo is up close and personal with the UMP. The ZQK checks it. Suddenly, it's just the sole defender. DRG. Showtime dealt with. One of the heavy hitters gone from the Inflames roster. The Remix rotation is there, but SHZ now in the 1 versus 4. Brings it just to the 3 players remaining, and the issue is the bombs dropped at their disposal, but shots being hit by SHZ. Pushing forward, it's headshots galore. FP1 now lingering towards the edge of the site. He's tried to catch him off guard. He's brought him to 23 HP, but don't give him an opportunity. Could have been the headshot for him. But FP1 denies the clutch attempt for Inflames. A respectable effort for sure from S8Z. I was about to talk about how difficult a position that is, given that he hadn't dropped out of the apartment. So if they'd played things safe, if they'd simply not peeked the apartments, there would have been many chances in which they would have likely won the round off of time alone, because as soon as he makes a step, as soon as he jumps out from the apartments, they'll know exactly where he is. Or did S8Z make that close? FP1 always been spotted out. He's gonna get tracked down as well. Remix, he misses the opening opportunity. He's getting naded down to absolutely nothing. 17 HP, the Molotov as well. It spreads to him, and Inflames so far have gone untraded. 5 versus 3. Ale trying his best to spam through the smokes to equalize the affair, bring it at least closer, but it's instead DRG on the flank. The next opponent he faces is at least low HP, but he expects that he's coming. Oh, he throws the flash, and that's going to make things so much easier. Now, Redemption, surely you just go and save. Ale and Cryo were certainly hoping that that flank pulled through, such that the retake could actually be a respectable effort. He'll double up to save. Trying to chase them down, but he'll spot out both of the players. The bomb may just mask the noise of S8Z creeping up from behind. That is heartbreaking. The call comes out fast enough, and S8Z just sprints towards them, lines them up on the spray. The bottom player dying first as well means that the player up top suffers from inaccuracy as he attempts to trade things out. Inflames have at least secured the half victory on their T side. Redemption subjected to just the pistols around the horse pipe. Ale looking for information underpass. He gets spotted out by Showtime, and that's the opening frag for the T's already. Once again, creeping up the connector, and they heard the reload. Remix gets taken down. They suspect the secondary player. Even free-firing around the corner. RMN and Showtime make short work, and Cryo, as best as he tries, he gets the 2 kills, but nothing further. 9-6 for Inflames as they switch over to CT. So far, much more of an even spread of affairs over on that Redemption lineup. See how the kills are spread out between everybody respectively. Whereas things are a little bit more topside heavy. You've got these 3 players in Showtime, SH7, and DZT that have really been having a huge impact on the rounds. ZQK has been playing more of a default-oriented approach. Often setting himself up in positions to either open up the round or try and win things out from a trading position. Inflames, though, very strong T-side half, and what I would say is probably just an overperformance as well from Showtime. He's been fairly untouchable on the map. Of course, lest we forget, Ale started this game in the first 2 rounds with 7 kills. He went 7-1. He ends the half 11-3. He peaked very early into the second map, and so far hasn't been able to contribute as heavily. Only 4 frags since the first 2 rounds. See what Redemption can do on the T side of things, though. Fair amount of utility brought up on both DRG and Cryo. Actually, seems to be setting themselves up for some sort of a post-plant play. And smoke over towards the B side of things. DRG, meanwhile, running distraction and throwing a top connector smoke such that it can crunch from both short as well as the apartments. Ale jumping around the corner. Showtime and DZT still on the bomb site, however. Showtime, 2 kills. The third in DZT, and so far they cannot be hunted down. Remix alone on the bomb site. Meanwhile, DRG's trying to pull off a sneaky play, but RMN has found him. And Remix, can he chime back? He's got the first. ZQK giving an opportunity. Suddenly, he brings things closer. They can't find the kill, but finally, it's the double swing from Inflames. Thought maybe Remix was about to have an explosive round. One by one opportunities in which he was doing significant damage. Brings it close, but Inflames will take the pistol. Just quickly pull up the odds for yourselves. From our partners over at GGBet. Inflames, they got what they were looking for. If the pistol had gone Redemption's way, suddenly they would have been very neck and neck. Now just having to deal with the pistols and the lack of armor on the Redemption side. No smoke brought up either, no flash to go for any sort of a pop play. Even if those pieces of utility would have been a factor, Inflames are in a position in which it wouldn't be all that detrimental. Obviously having that player in towards the ticket booth with heavy connector defenses in both RMN and SHZ, both having SMGs as well. This is fairly consistent from Redemption. Every time we've seen them lose the pistol round, they always go for the save, and you can certainly see the line of reasoning. I think Inflames have read into that, however. That's why they've gone for a predominantly SMG-heavy buy. Maybe see one more rifle in a FAMAS, perhaps, in a round like this. DRG gets spotted out. Jiggle peeking the angle. Now they'll push on through. Ooh, dink onto SHZ. They're actually able to track him down. RMN, though, is able to sweep up the pieces. Gets 3. ZQK gets the kill with the scout, and the 4K is found from RMN. Of course, as we had mentioned earlier, unarmored opponents, pistols just in play, but great job on the spacing, at least, such that SHZ is able to take first contact, and that makes things easier for RMN to go unnoticed and unchecked. They will have 3 opportunities, primarily, on this Redemption side, depending on, obviously, if they get plants down, that would certainly help them moving forward. That maybe give them 1.5 more gun rounds. But they need either this gun round or the round 3 away. I don't want to say round too many times, but they'll need to either win this one or round number 20 to really be in contest of this game, because Inflames so far have been outperforming them on an aim level. It's not been anything overly spectacular. Their pistol round on their T side was probably the most strategic we saw. Outside of that, Redemption leaving holes in the defense and Inflames playing extremely slow on their T side was mainly what allowed them to establish those kills, and just how explosive some of the individuals have been for the Inflames roster. First kill over towards the B side of things. Showtime will be spotted out in the apartment. Throws the smoke to try and buy himself a bit more time, but they've lost this site so rapidly. DQK can't get there in time to really contest market, because there could be a player up close and personal.
Bomb has been planted.
And they're getting gunned down from every possible position as they set in towards middle. I'm gonna go on a hunt for him, because he was wondering where the gun jumped right over it. Jumped right over it. It was just an MP9, but it seemed like he was intent on bringing that into the next round. That would have been eating away at me if we hadn't known where that weapon had gone, because there wasn't a nade thrown afterwards, in which case it's just a total write-off. The nade could have sent it absolutely anywhere. Just surprised that EQK didn't swap his loadout. 7 to 11. An inconvenience for Inflames, as they don't have enough money to fully buy up into this round. They've had to buy solely around that Org and Scout that both these players were able to make use of. But ooh, ZQK, sharp headshot on response. Showtime, although he was taken down early, it's still the Scout in play. ZQK, he's got in two. Suddenly caught with a nade out in hand. FP1 sitting through the flames to track down those kills. Now he's trapped between a rock and a hard place. He has no room to move, but RMN makes use of him as a distraction. FP1 now in a 2 versus 1. Has it all to do. 20 HP to his name, and both of these players have rifles and full health off the back of it. Marginal damage done to those rotating players, only losing really the one player. Now FP1 has to play a game of cat and mouse. Has the bomb on his back, a fair amount of utility, could throw the Molotov as well to flush a player out. So far, these are very isolated engagements, but if he commits to this plant, Inflames should have a chance of catching him out. They'll not bite just in case it's a fake play from FP1. They'll take a very strong position in the apartments. Again, Molotov still on his belt. I could eat up more and more time, but RMN and DCT both have smokes. They're creeping up together and trying to make use of the spacing. Now the game will be given up. The smoke thrown, the nade in response. He knows he has to jump out on it, and as he goes and jumps for the bomb, they're already sticking it through. DZT even recovering a smoke en route to the site. Inflames are going to take the round. A lot of that catalyzed primarily by ZQK. 2 kills with the Scout and staying alive for so long on the site. It made things incredibly awkward for Redemption moving forward. They needed to find that kill. They needed to track him down. And the Molotov being deployed didn't help either. Fantastically played by him on the Scout over on that site. Showtime was the casualty in the round. That enabled ZQK the first, but the second was oh so sharp. And a timeout called here from Redemption. They'd won the must-win round. And then fallen to the saved weaponry from Inflames. If it were just pistols, maybe a round like that doesn't occur. That's some of the risk that you subject yourself to by allowing those to be brought forward. Inflames, 5-round lead maintained. And S8 said he's already been tagged down by the AWP of Remix. On the cross towards Connector, he suffers as a result. So a weakened defense here for Inflames, and Redemption are going to try and capitalize off the back of it. Moving quickly towards the A site. Ali's taking a lot of damage from that Molotov deployed in towards Palace. Down to 5 HP. The site will be conceded primarily, but DZT, oh, he lines them up through the smoke. FP1 got dinked down as well. 2 players just a slither of health away from death. One of which will be trusted to lock down CT spawn, but he's got the AWP in hand, and that's a great way to make use of it. Showtime taken out. Inflames running away from the site. They'll give this one to Redemption. They'd found the picks they needed to, and maybe if they had the information that these players were so low, they'd maybe be tempted into it, but there are 2 AWPs in play on the T side that make things so incredibly difficult. So that 5-round discrepancy will once again be broken. Redemption still trying to claw forward. Bring this to a 3rd map. We did go the distance. It would be Dust 2 as our decider. Again, I will say, should be a close fight. think, by and large, it's been apparent that Inflames have a bit more of this kind of star power on their roster, as you would expect from some of the names in the server for them. Redemption certainly no slouches either. Cryo winning the opening duel in towards middle. The drop was had by DZT, but unable to convert the shot, so our Redemption will now have middle to work with. And once establishing control, realizing that Inflames aren't going for any sort of information or counterplay in that position, they'll just simply give it up. Inflames now need to be concerned about a wrap towards the B side of things, a wrap towards A as well from Connector, and that plays heavily into Redemption's hands. Suddenly, the minds of these remaining defenders will be split between an angle that's not really a factor. Showtime will do his best to try and get as much information as possible for the remaining two, but SHC and RMN, this falls to you. The fake set of nades over towards mid. SHZ immediately head peeled straight away, and RMN, although he gets the first, cannot do anything on the second. He gets gunned down, fully blind, but ZQK answers right back with a double kill of his own. He's equalized the affair, but Cryo, he's in a lurking position. He's right where they least expect. Showtime gets the first, but he waits too long. Remix is dropped on the site, and Cryo cannot line both up on the spray down. It could have been the one kill. It could have been Remix in a 1 versus 1. Planting it safer. Make it towards the site, but instead, the trigger discipline a little bit too long, waiting for an opportunity to get both, but it just does not present itself. Inflames at 13. Redemption will feel absolutely cheated of that round. Again, an opening kill for Cryo, alone in middle. They seem comfortable to leave him in this position as a lurking presence and just to run distraction, fake some presence in towards that portion of the map, and as a result of that, the rotations towards A will be somewhat weakened. SHZ by himself, Remix guns him down. And the remaining two CTs not even posturing up for this one. Again, it's an A site hit that's successful for Redemption. And if that continues to be an issue for Inflames, you'd imagine that they give up mid control a little bit easier. So far, it seems Cryo comes out on top in that particular set of duels. Inflames have been playing 4 versus 5 in the past 2 rounds. However, it's still 1 for 1 in that regard. In terms of actually converting the round, at the very least. Well, it seems like people are pretty decided that Inflames are going to win this series. Just based on how things are reflected in that graphic as shown. ZQK, though, over towards the A side of the map, has found an opening kill with the scout. This time, less presence in towards middle. Cryo's been gunned down towards A ramp. Suddenly, they've changed up positions. I imagine based off of spawns, but then you wonder why they even had Cryo lurking in that position so many times prior. Suddenly, players are in different roles for Redemption, and they've already kind of suffered as a result. They're going for more heavy mid-control, it seemed, but Cryo wasn't a part of the pack. Instead, likely again to be this player that kind of lurks around in a position that Inflames are maybe unsuspecting of, but have to try and fight back in a 3v5. Able to garner control of ladder room. Let's fully clear out window off the back of it. SH lining up the angle. Brings it just now down to 2. One of these players needs to have a moment which they get a couple of kills. Winning respective duels is so crucially important. Showtime gets cleared. DRG makes things a little bit easier for Ali. He can progress on towards the bomb site as DZT is trapped between 2 different fights, but he wins the opening engagement. DRG now in a 1 versus 4. Just the 3 players remain, but he has time working against him. And Inflames are too shy of securing another round in the close qualifier. Redemption may have lost their opportunities, but we'll have to see how these buys go through. It will need to be at least another 6 rounds before they breathe a sigh of relief, and that they'd at least secure an overtime, give them more opportunities moving forward. But if Inflames get to that point, certainly see a world in which they change their setup to play a bit more aggressive, maybe catch out Redemption, and Remix isn't going to take down DZT. A lot of damage sustained, but Showtime will get 1 as well on the B bomb site. They found the opening picks they need. They take the B site. The rotations aren't there fast enough for Inflames to really contest the plant. And they'll have to wait for this long wrap from SHZ. They'll allow him to make that rotation. They don't actually have kits on either of these 2 players, or any of the 3 players remaining for Inflames. FP1, first kill is there. They get the kill on RMN as well, and SHZ will run and hide off the back of it. Redemption will stay alive for a little bit longer.
Terrorists win.
I could have certainly shown that camera a little bit earlier. Not sure why I decided to show it after the bomb goes. Nothing to look at when the bomb explodes. Just devastation. But, well, devastation awaits redemption. That's the name of the game. It's a story in which some of these players could potentially hit the international stage. At the very least, the American qualifier. Will be a play over towards the A side of things. Mid pressure shown. Inflames not exactly the best of buys coming into this round. Pistols, SMGs, the scout still in ZQK's hands. Could certainly be instrumental with it. Oh, surely not. He lands the tag but can't convert on the frag. Eventually he gets the secondary. DRG tried his best with just the crack peek angle, and the scope takes him out. 2 players very low HP though for Inflames. 1 nade would do him. 1 Molotov in that position, but SHC steps up in a massive way. 3 kills, almost the 4th being lined up. RMN trying his best to trade. The flashes are good, and Inflames secure 15. It came from the AUG of all places for Inflames. That triple position between both fights. And he won every single one outside of the last. And that maybe does it. Redemption will have to rely on Deagles and the UMPs to win the bomb sites and stay alive in map number 2. This game has had its heroic performances, it's had its clutch moments. Some crucial 1v1s. Some, well, more of them favoring Redemption. But the longevity of those types of rounds and whether they're able to continuously perform in them somewhat hurt them in that regard. A 5-round differential. So far, no over pushing on the CT side. Redemption really holding for some sort of a play change on the defensive to maybe bring one of these rifles forward. Use it on the execute. They've only got the one smoke to work off of, but a couple of Molotovs that could potentially flush these players out. We'll have to see how things goes, as this is the final commitment. Showtime gets the first. The trade immediately there for that Redemption side. DQK still on the site, eventually gunned down. RMN, though, is triming right back. It's still an equal affair and relatively similar HP across the field. This time, the kits are available. Flash certainly didn't go exactly where RMN wanted, but Flames are a bit slow on this rotation. Ooh, DZT missing the jump as well will prevent things further, but SHC has found one with the Molotov. RMN as well, through the edge of the box, eliminates Remix, so it has to be DRG in the clutch. He has to perform if they want to stay alive, and he won't get it done. Redemption are out of your closed qualifiers. Of course, this was the lower bracket. This was their second chance. But Inflames will carry on. A very close game, especially to start things off. Incredible performance from Ale in the first 2 sets of rounds, but seemingly falling off from there. Showtime having a phenomenal T-side half. Didn't have to do quite as much on the CT portion, as you had players like ZQK, SHZ, and RMN just pulling so much weight. DZT as well. Everybody on the side of Inflames really just seeming to outperform on an individual or aim basis. Of course, that will be it for this series. There will be a bit of a gap between between the end of this series as well as we lead into the next games, but you don't want to miss those. We've got a very good head-to-head in the upper bracket, in the winners bracket, to find out who's our first out of this qualifier to make it to the Americas qualifier. That, of course, is going to be Isurus versus Sharks. It's a Shark head-to-head, and we will have to see how things go between them. My name, of course, has been Yumi. Thank you all very much for watching. Come back in about an hour's time for the Sharks versus Isurus game, which is going to be a hard-fought finish. I don't doubt it at all. We'll have to see who comes out. The Great White makes it to the Americas qualifiers. See you all in the next one.
Charge up your game with excitement. Highest odds on the market. Coverage of all live and pre-match events. Place your bets with Solid Bookmaker and win with your favorite teams. Take what's rightfully yours with GG.